The Crew 2 isn't the only racing game to feature boats. Forza Motorsport 7 has them too. Hello guys, welcome back onto the channel and into one more Forza Motorsport 7 racing video. We're doing some Cycle Division hopper racing on what looks like a boat on wheels. I absolutely hate these cars, but the Cycle Divisions, they don't give you a lot of choice when it comes to cars. They basically just put you in a certain category of cars and it's up to you to choose the best one available. And in this case, there's no best one. All of them are awful. And one of the things that I most dislike about this type of cars is that they feel really floaty. The car doesn't feel connected to the road. And as you can see, pretty much everybody in this lobby is struggling to keep the car under control. I'm struggling, a lot of people struggled. I went a little bit into deep in there, and that's pretty much the norm in these cars. You usually break, and of course there are also this type of guys that pull this type of crap. That wasn't a mistake. We were on a straight line, so there was absolutely no reason for ramming me like that, but that happened. But as I was saying, this car, whenever you tap on the brakes, it's gonna slide pretty wide. It feels very floaty and I hate it. I just make another mistake here. This type of freak. I don't even know how to do the voiceover for this video, to be honest. It's a mistake filled race for sure. And I remember that when I was doing this race, I didn't know whether I got frustrated or if I found that funny at the time I was racing, but it was a constant struggle to keep this car on the road. Even corners like that pretty much every other car you're able to take, well, pretty decently, but in this car it becomes a chore. It becomes something that it's not even skill based. Look at that. Look at the guy in front of me. He fishtails all over the place and ends up spinning out. You can blame the guy. It's just the type of car that we're running that is very it's very susceptible to this type of behavior around the corners, even corners where in most cars you're able to take flat out. And let's see how we do in the second lap. The first lap was awful. It was an horror show. This guy gives me space. I don't know if he was one of the guys that rammed me off on the previous lap. Let's see if it's gonna happen again. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more cautious over the second lap. And this time around I think it was an honest mistake. It's pretty easy to overshoot your braking points in this car. You think that, and sometimes you follow the red line and it still is not enough for you to nail your braking point in order to make the turn right on time. It's usually the red line makes you go a little bit too deep on pretty much every corner, so you need to calculate based on the weakness of your car. This guy goes past me fairly easily because I made a mistake back there. He's struggling, and I would assume that the first place is also struggling because he had 1,000 meters lead over me, but we managed to drop it down to look at that again, same spot. But yeah, we managed to shorten the distance by, well, 400 meters. Let's see how much he's gonna be able to gain over me over this second lap. I make another mistake here. It's gonna cost me a little bit because they're on a straight line, so they're gonna get away from us fairly quickly. And let's see if I manage to avoid going a little bit sideways over this next section here. The guy goes off the track, I go off the track. That's the thing when you're trying to follow someone that's leading. Well, of course he's leading. You can follow someone who's trailing behind you. But that's a thing. Sometimes when you're behind someone, you tend to take the same lines that they take, you tend to make the same mistakes that they make, you tend to brake on the same spots that they brake, and that usually causes a lot of chaos in a race. It kind of makes you be a lot less consistent than you would if you actually stuck to your line, stuck to your braking points, rather than trying to follow anybody who's ahead of you and trying to outbrake them. We go past this guy, but surprisingly enough, we're in 5th place. This the guy that went off the track a couple seconds ago, he hits that wall, so we managed to drive past him with with no problem at all. And surprisingly enough, we're up in 4th place. I would assume that I would have expected to have finished, or at least to be in a much lower position, especially so when you compare how many mistakes I made throughout this race, how many mistakes I made at the beginning of the race especially, and somehow I'm pretty close to sit on the podium. I'm not sure if that's gonna materialize though, because these guys are pretty far ahead. Unless they make a huge mistake, I don't think that's gonna be possible. But let's see how this remaining section of the track is gonna play out. I try to be a little bit more cautious this time around, so I don't hit the wall off to my left side. Kind of works, but I went a little bit into deep, and that kind of sacrificed my exit. I was supposed to take that exit a lot faster than I did, but with this car, you don't want to take chances. And again, I was a little bit too cautious here, but it kind of worked out. And we're catching up to this guy actually. Let's see if he's gonna make a mistake, because I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be pretty nervous. I'm driving a pretty shitty car, and there's a big chance that I might end up driving straight onto the back of his car. That did not happen, and that's gonna be a 4th place finish. That's pretty pleasing, to be honest. I didn't expect it, but I would assume, well, as you can see, I definitely had the pace. I set the fastest lap around the track at 2:10, while the first place sat at 2:11. So I definitely had the pace, but I could have saved up a lot of time if I didn't screw so much over the beginning of that race. So we're moving on to the second race. This isn't exactly the next race. After I did that one, there was a couple races after. The cycle divisions, it tends to jump all over the place when it comes to driving, when it comes to car categories and divisions. This guy, it looks like he tried to ram me off. I don't know what his intentions were, or if it was just a matter of him driving wide, which is something that is very easy to do in this type of car. There's a whole lot of carnage going on up ahead. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, unless he proves me wrong. So we're up in 5th place. Surprisingly, again, there are only 9 racers in this race, so there's not a whole lot of people to overtake. And this guy, oh my god. I don't even know what to say when this guys try to pull this off, you know. Some people try to use their cars as a braking device and as a turning device. They think that they're gonna make up for any time that they could be losing by actually braking. So 2 can play at that game, so I rammed him off the track. No regrets at all. And this was before the August update, mind you. As I said, after the August update, the races got immediately worse, but things have improved, because I would assume that a lot of people that joined in Forza Motorsport 7 for the first time to cause chaos. This guy tried to ram me off. You could see that he went. If I hadn't turned in, he probably would have taken me out. He would have probably taken me out over that section. But yeah, most of the people that joined in after the update came out, I would assume that they don't play the game anymore. They just played it and realized that it was either too difficult to win races online, or that it wasn't their cup of tea. I don't know, but it looks like the races are back to the normal quality, quote unquote normal quality. And that means you're gonna have your occasional rammer, you're gonna have your occasional dirty driver, but it's still possible for you to get quality racing in this game, which is something that I really struggle with. If you recall, if you've been watching my videos since the beginning, I don't know how many of you have stuck out with me since the beginning, but if there are any of you who watches my videos since the beginning, you probably have heard me saying that I had a really tough time getting quality racing in Forza Motorsport, which is one of the reasons why I usually posted Gran Turismo Sport videos, even though I enjoy Forza more than Gran Turismo Sport. And I don't know if it's a result of me getting better at Forza Motorsport, or if the quality of the racing improved during the period that I spent playing Gran Turismo Sport almost exclusively. But I'm able to get more quality racing these days out of Forza Motorsport, which makes me really happy, because if there's a game that I can boot up and spend countless hours without having that kind of obligation, like I need to do a video on this like it usually is in Gran Turismo Sport, that's Forza Motorsport 7. Forza Motorsport 7 is my go-to racing game whenever I want to chill out or just want to play for a couple hours. Gran Turismo Sport, sometimes it is like this, but for the most part, especially so over the last couple months, it kind of turned into some sort of obligation where I need to force myself to actually play the game, and I don't enjoy playing when it's like that. I don't think anybody does when they play like that, and that's why you haven't seen me posting online races on Gran Turismo Sport over this past 3 months. I've been mainly covering the news related to the game, because that makes me excited. But the last update, the update where they added the Red Bull Ring, I checked out the update, but that update didn't get me excited, so I didn't post any videos. And that's pretty much how I'm gonna run my channel. That's pretty much how I'm trying to run my channel since the beginning. But it's kind of difficult sometimes when I post Gran Turismo Sport videos and I get like 300 views in a matter of days, and Forza Motorsport videos only get like 30 or 40 views. So it's kind of tempting to fall back into games that are more popular in your channel, even if it's at the expense of your own mental sanity. But it is what it is. But I'm trying to focus this moving forward. I'm trying to focus on games that I'm actually enjoying playing, which is why you're gonna be seeing a whole lot more Forza Motorsport. I have recorded over 100 videos over the past, I think, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and I have a lot of stuff that is video worthy. So I'm gonna be posting these little by little whenever my work schedule allows. This guy goes a little bit too wide. You probably noticed that I'm talking a lot, but it's because that not much has happened on this race except for the beginning. But this time the guy drove a little bit too wide. He ended up off the track, and now we're back in the game again. Looks like the first place is on. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I'm gonna be able to catch up to him. We only have maybe 30 or 40 seconds left on this race. His car definitely has a good top speed. At least it matches mine. Mine has a really decent top speed when compared to most other cars on the track. But let's see if we can do something about it over this last stretch, quote-unquote stretch. There's a corner coming up, but you can take that flat out, I would believe so. No, I let off the throttle a little bit, didn't tap on the brakes though. But yeah, in some other cars you're gonna be able to take that one flat out. So yeah, we didn't get first place. That's gonna be a second place finish. We did 1.18. Let's see if we're off the pace. Holy crap, we're just Man, look at the difference in time between me and the first place. We're pretty much identical. I was faster than him. I don't even know how to say this number, but I was faster than him by only 1 milliseconds, attempts, I don't know. But anyways, that's been 2 races that I did on boats. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more Forza Motorsport 7 content, share the video with your friends and on your social media. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate the help. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.